As the red light flashes and I see the dashing man himself, my co-host Big Stevie Cool, I say, good morning to everybody here at twitch.tv/conspiracy horseman, because you know, Stevie, I like it raw. Ooh, Stevie, I like it raw. Ooh, Stevie, I like it raw. Yeah, Stevie, we like it raw. Shimmy, shimmy, ya, shimmy, yam, shimmy, yay. Give us the mic and we'll take it away, infidels, here on your Friday ultra declassified kayfabe locker room edition on a Thursday at twitch.tv/conspiracy horseman, hackerhamin.podbean.com. Yalla. Getting the pipes warmed up this morning, Stevie, with that Russo Bro, thebroasters.com limited edition brand coffee, getting the caffeine flowing through me. But I know you've been up probably for about 8 hours already.
You'd be shocked. I actually been sleeping in a little bit because my wife's off day, which I can't translate that in my mind. Her off day from working out is Thursdays, so I sleep in a little bit extra, and that way I can work out and kind of get ready and change my diet up. So my stomach is all upset and everything, and I can be 15 minutes late for the stream. So, but thank God I was late, because I think we both had a little dip in internet connection from like 8:15 to 8:24 right now. It seems to have cleared up.
Well, I mean, don't count your megabits before they unpack it, because my stream always sucks. But it's me, the hardcore champion, Bick Holy, and obviously it's the ECW legend, Big Stevie Cool, man. ECW, WCW, WWE, Conspiracy Horseman, fitness guru, tech guru.
Don't forget about my huge 5-figure haul in TNA.
Oh yeah, sorry about that.
my five-figure, the fucking TV push that almost bankrupted me.
Yeah. Never.
Hey, I haven't changed a bit though, have I?
No,
right,
you
Dixie?
look great, and this business has chewed up and spit out a lot of motherfuckers, and it definitely, you have risen above all of it, dude.
Oh, thank you. You know what's funny is, like, and I want you involved with this. I always have these ideas, and now that it seems like 329 million people are destined to be quarantined soon with the coronavirus, I had an idea about, like, I've been watching. You ever hear of Jocko? The Jocko podcast is on YouTube. It's like kind of like he's a former military guy, former SEAL. He's big, like shaved head guy, kind of like a Rogan type of podcast that he does. Very inspirational and deep dives into things. I use a $150 microphone, which sounds better than my $1,000 setup, which pisses me off. But he talks about like the transition from, I guess, being a SEAL into day-to-day life, things like that and everything. And I did the episode 19 with Donovan Morgan, talking about his alcoholism, talking about his wrestling career, talking about how now he has a great second chapter in life, but even better than wrestling. Wrestling was like much less fruitful than what he's doing now.
Right.
And I thought, wouldn't that be very interesting for a continuing series of examining life after full-time professional wrestling and what's this and that and how you look at life. And, I definitely would love to have you and Sal and Papa and other people into it, because it's just such an interesting thing. And I don't think any wrestlers seem to be, and I've never been this guy, and I know you aren't, and Papadon and Sal aren't. We're not guys that just constantly want to live in the past. And that's the way to easy cash in with a lot of these wrestling podcasts. But a forward thinking type of higher level thinking has never been done, while still talking about what happened in the past and what you've learned from it.
Yeah. Well, that's what we do, is apply the lessons and the scars to not touch the hot stove again, while other people run right in. What's going on? Like to really be able to give that perspective. And it is our unique space, man. I'm very thankful for it too. And I'm very thankful for the producers here joining us this morning. I see Billy Ray Valentine in the chat room, and I see Jargo, first guy in the chat. And I did want to take a moment to offer public thank you very much to Jargo. I'm not sure if he's broke the news yet, but he's going to be taking a siesta here after WrestleMania, focus on family and maybe some other stuff that he wants to do, man. And he, I don't got to tell you, this wrestling shit can burn you out and burn you down. And he's dedicated so much time, personal time, production time, and working with you on the football stuff. I know he loved doing that, and obviously the Monday locker room and his New Japan knowledge will be sorely missed in perspective. I just want to say thank you publicly for all the hours and dedication you've given to Hamin Media Group. I'm eternally grateful for that, and it's an open door for you anytime you get the itch or you want to come back and say, hey, I've I want to get real masochistic and watch wrestling all the time again. Open door. But thank you so much, man, for everything you've done.
Yeah, we've lost touch over the past couple of weeks because he had I believe it was a back injury a few weeks ago, and this was at the end of the season after the Super Bowl. So we weren't quite sure how we were going to move forward. We want to do XFL. We wanted to do free agency. Your relative Jeff was awesome to lend his insight. So, I feel bad about that, but it just seems like occurrence after occurrence, and then my mom passing away and having to be up there.
It's life, man. I mean,
he definitely has what's that?
That's life. A podcast is all fringe compared to when real things have to happen.
Yeah, but the one thing that can kill a podcast is a lack of consistency. Sure. The one thing that can kill any content is the fact that if they don't see that thing on their podcast app or on their feed or on their notifications for YouTube every Sunday or every Monday or whatever it is, remember if you don't have the shows out by Friday morning, people are tweeting and Facebooking you.
Yeah.
But with Jargo, I mean, I told him this off air and on air. You want to talk about a guy that has a future in any kind of media creation. And I told him, I mean, 100%. We were close to at least getting a bite on a radio station, I believe in St. Louis, that actually he was in contact with. And I have no doubt that Jargo is going to be somewhere in the radio space or satellite radio space if he chooses to pursue that. But once again, family is really paramount. So I apologize once again to Jargo that we have kind of like stopped and started, as well as Jeff, because I know he enjoyed the NFL shows as well.
Yeah, well, that could be the end of the NFL. Everything's going to be banned, and you guys will just be watching from home together. You can watch in real time here on Twitch if you wanted to and log in, because no one's going to be able to buy tickets. That'll be a good rib. But yeah, man, and like I said, he's not dying or nothing. Yeah, not that he knows of yet. But yeah. Then the other news there that I want to say is I reached out to some more veteran voices. I've loved having Chris Silvio on here. Obviously, you and Steve King and Bello are a great pairing on the Wednesday Locker Room. I know Billy Ray Valentine with his America Unplugged series, and obviously the Infinite Fringe. He's producing a lot, and he's kind of pulled back from wrestling a little bit too, where he's going to school. He's got the kids too, so. And now, he's David Icke's boy now. He's too big for us. But
sorry. I don't even know if we should mention his name if we're allowed to.
But I love that trio, and I love that tag team of Strangler, Steve's veteran voice, and Bello, another great right there in the radio space, could be anywhere. And Big Ray too, and Colin on the Smack Attack. I mean, all these guys who are working for somebody else's dollar, but we're getting their best creative as they sharpen their swords. You can just hear them. A Big Ray in the drop before every show is unbelievable for to have that big top voice on here. But I wanted to say I did reach out, and an OVW personality, a great friend of mine, kind of since day one, who I came up and trained with, who has done every job, is Ted the Trailer McNailer, Nick Beckham, a.k.a. the man beast, is coming to the Monday Locker Room. And I'll be sitting in there, probably have Vickery in there as well. And, welcome him into the fold. He's been wanting to get into the game for a while, and I really want a conduit to tap into OVW. He's Al Snow's, one of the top guys there. He has been. I rode DCW with him, OVW with him. He's been tag champs. He's done comedy. He started as a referee, so he's refereeing the main events, with the top guys there, CM Punk to Vladimir Kozlov era, all that stuff, So then he's done the production side, the directing, and then he's also a doctor, a physical therapist. So we're going to get a whole health side. I can't wait to team you guys up together to talk about health and wellness together. I think there's going to be huge opportunity there. And then we're going to be tapped into OVW, which just got a national deal. And I obviously want to help my roots where I came from shine. And he's got all that Rip Rogers knowledge that Silvio and I do, and even more. So I'm excited to invite him, and he was excited to accept.
Very cool. It's always good when there's always progress and momentum and new people coming into that fold. And that's a space that's totally different, because we talked about oversaturation and maybe it being a little bit too much of the same thing across the spectrum of the feed.
Yeah.
That's definitely something. And these things need to, much like the coronavirus, you have to have a culling, and you have to have things that switch up and change.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm going to take a look at the numbers.
Joke, by the way. I'm being sarcastic.
No, I got it. And everybody who's been contributing, and they seem to be meeting their schedule. It's not things that are behind. And I know, obviously, Chuck wants to do more as well. So I'm kind of going to reach out to the producer of the Horror Junkyard podcast, who's Sal's buddy, and all of our buddies. Always cool to hang out with them. Why
is he afraid to ask me? Remember that? He's asking you now. He's like, I don't want to bother him.
Yeah,
please fucking bother me, man.
Yeah, dude, you're a star, bro, man. Like, that's why. And you are, though. Like, I sit back, even me, 13 years, and I've been close to megastars like Andy Dick. Like, it's still humbling to me sometimes when you're like, all right, I get grizzled and bitter, or like we bitch about Raw, but I look forward to Tuesdays with the Raw and SmackDown review and Master Shoot, just to sit outside myself and be like, look what the fuck you're doing right now, dude. And then to get invited to do something with PJ, Sandman, and Shane. Sure, we can make ribs about who's going to be in what kind of shape to show up for the show, but 1995 me, bro, would have been like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? You're going from doing Shakespeare competition and fucking Guys and Dolls to, while I'm watching ECW at 2 a.m, to like getting to host the show, which might not go off because of Corona, but just the fact that I can sit outside myself now and be like, wow, payday, this, that, the other, not reaching this benchmark. I don't give a fuck anymore. Like, that's not like in me. It's just like, phew. I don't know. I'm lucky. I'm fortunate to see a lot of years of paying dues pay off, man. In my opinion, in a special way, in the right way.
Well, you deserve it. You definitely deserve it. And this is the goal. This is the fulfillment, to actually be able to do something you enjoy, to be able to feature yourself in a way, and also to be able to rub elbows with somebody you grew up, or three guys you grew into the business watching, and then make a little bit of money at the same time.
Yeah. And
all that put together, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. We all are trying not to have the one big payoff, but in my case and in your case, trying to piece together little things that we all like to do and then make a living out of it. And hey, what more could you ask for in life?
Yeah. I mean, I'll have grown Hamin Media almost 40% over last year. I mean, it sounds big, but that means because I started small. So growth is like what it is, but and to see the numbers this month just from downloads alone. I remember we were doing 600 to 800 on a platform day, and sure, we released multiple shows, but we did 3,600 yesterday on a Wednesday, and then Friday's our biggest drop day, but the last Wednesday we did 3,100. The Wednesday before that we did 2,900. So, I mean, in 3 weeks to add 600 downloads, like if you were going to add the zeros on the end of that, and these were raw numbers, that'd be adding 600,000 viewers in a week. Like, that's growth is growth, and reaching an audience is reaching an audience, right? It's just what your platform is. So that's some shit I like to hang my hat on. You know, that's some undeniable stuff of people working hard and delivering content, getting it out into other niche markets. I've been posting a lot of things in like these Mark forums, even if it's the Impact Attack. I don't do a big write up, but I'll throw it in like We Love Wrestling, We Talk Pro Wrestling, like with like 80,000, you know, like people, marks in this forum. I don't interact with them or nothing. I got all the notifications shut off, but at least we'll get another 1,000 or 200 listens in there, you know, friggin' great. So appreciate all the diehards who are putting up with all this ego stroke this morning. There was a question in the chat. How do they get walnuts in the Russo Bro coffee from Broasters? There's not actual walnuts in it. It's you know, like you would drink anything, a liquor or, you know, some type of scotch, and you're like, oh, it has hints of oak or what have you, or the barrel, or wines, you know, there's this in certain IPAs, there's no real citrus in it. It's the hops that are citron hops, but it might taste like pineapple or whatever. That's the same with this coffee. It's Nicaraguan, organic, fair trade, one farm to table exchange, and then it's roasted here in central New York from the raw bean, ground, bagged, and shipped one place, you know, by the Broasters. And this bean just has a natural tendency to lend itself in the aftertaste of it. You're like, oh, there's a little walnut aftertaste when you first taste it. It tastes very, you know, coffee and like a chocolate flavor. And then there's even a little bit of like lemon in there someplace. So that's just the natural of what it is. There's nothing added to it. It's straight up coffee beans. That's it. But I like this, you know, fresh ground stuff. It's crazy after drinking blended and whatnot. But I was up off my ass last night on some Jamaican coffee.
I just had an idea for a conspiracy coffee brand, like chemtrail coffee and other things. You know what I mean?
Why not?
Dude, there's already coronavirus shirts, by the way, where they have a bottle of Corona, like with the lemon next to it and dead bodies. Right? That was on Woot.
Yep.
They're selling T-shirts.
Why not?
There's always going to be.
I was thinking about doing a sight gag on Saturday night. I don't know if I want to go cheap with a Corona bottle or not. We'll see.
You can get a cheap hazmat suit or something.
I'm going to do half is me and half is Hamin. Oh, shit. I should have done shoulder mobility last night after Horseman. Horseman was fun last night. Obviously talking Corona, talking Corey Feldman. Corey Feldman, as some may say, but we invited Corey Feldman. We'll see if he responds this week. If you want to politely ask him, you know, I think it's at Corey Feldman, to come on the Conspiracy Horseman, use your power to just say, hey, it's an open platform where you can talk honestly and won't be interrupted. If anybody fucks with you, 4 wrestlers will kick the shit out of them, or threaten to anyway. And, you know, we'll see. Not kick the shit out of Corey Feldman, but, you know, for him coming on. So, you know what to do, Hamin Media Group. Before we get into the headlines here, Stevie, anything else, man?
Not really. Are they going to be coronavirus headlines?
Oh, yeah. We're going to kick it right off with my Corona. Coronavirus threatens Friday night Smackdown. WWE issues statements. There's been reportedly internal discussions in WWE about the possibly moving this week's broadcast of Smackdown to the Performance Center in Orlando, as concerns over the coronavirus continue to grow worldwide. President Trump issued a 30-day travel ban on Wednesday evening for European citizens looking to enter the U.S. after the disease was ruled a global pandemic by World Health Organization. As noted, officials from the city of Tampa, Florida, will meet today, Thursday, to decide the fate of major events in the area like Wrestlemania 36. Yeah, 6-pal. All around the country, large gatherings have been canceled. The XFL is holding a game this week without fans in attendance, and the 2020 E3 video game conference has been canceled. Coachella postponed, and the entire 2020 NBA season has now been temporarily suspended. WWE Update 1 has issued the following statement. WWE is not canceled Friday Night Smackdown in Detroit. However, based on the current situation, we are putting up contingency plans in place in the event that upcoming WWE shows are canceled by government officials, civil authorities, and or local venues. Update number 2, Pro Wrestling Insider added to an earlier report from WrestleVotes, confirming with multiple sources that both Friday Night SmackDown and 205 Live would air from the PC. The show is currently scheduled for Detroit in the very same arena the NBA star Rudy Gobert plays, who tested positive for the coronavirus. I didn't watch NXT from there, from Performance Center. Did you see any shots? But to move SmackDown there too, here we go, man.
This may go off of the Santa Clara local government with the San Jose Sharks. And I urge everybody to listen to the Conspiracy Horseman, because we went into a lot of different angles about this, especially with the economy and how some of this could be something to reset the economy, to transfer it from a fiat currency with the Federal Reserve to treasury notes. There's a lot of moving parts in this economically around the world. But Santa Clara government has banned any gatherings larger than 1,000 people. And I think WWE might be seeing that, or there might be something with these backdoor meetings saying it tends to spread. Now, I don't know, because if there's two people and one has it and then one takes it, 2, 4, 8, 16, like, where's this number of 500 or 1,000, or even with Wildcat Sports, which will draw probably under 1,000 people? How does the government say cancel this or don't do this, but allows, well, let's call it what it is, for, bread and circuses, for our entertainment. So we'll take the fans out of the arena, but you can still play the March Madness. We'll take the fans, and it's only 500 fans that might get infected. And also we have about 40 wrestlers that are going to wrestle in the show, sweat all over each other. If one of them are infected, you're in a tight arena that doesn't have windows. So I'm assuming everybody's getting affected, right? From one end to the other.
Pretty much. And you're bringing people all together from all over the world. Well, not Europe now, but who knows?
This is why it's confusing to me, because they're locking down 100 or so people in New Rochelle, New York, because they basically, that's the largest population condensed that got tested positive or something like that. How in the world are you not doing, like I said before, we're Conspiracy Horsemen, so we're not trying to throw out fear mongering, but we know there's some disinfo on one end or the other. So my question is, if there's no public gatherings for the next month, doesn't that let the virus run its course a lot quicker than having, you can have 1,000 people here, you can have 500 in Orlando. We're still going to have wrestlers wrestling in Salt Lake City for AEW, which hasn't even addressed it as far as I can see or read. Do you see what I mean? Like, that lends me to look at it like a red flag. Like, okay, like if 2 people can spread it to 4 to 8 and all that stuff for life, see, but why these indiscriminate numbers if it's so contagious and it lasts for 3 days? I don't know. Why not shut everything down for a month, let it run its course, let the people come out of quarantine, and maybe we can get past it.
Sorry, I was I was listening to everything you said, but my brain split, and I got my opening for my comedy set.
Okay, I gave it to you. Good.
Yeah, you did actually. So I got plenty there. The quarantine thing, we shared this in the chat, and this is exactly what you're saying. Let me see, bring it up here. The French Connection. I missed the joke for the French Connection, but it still cost me. And somebody had sent me this on Instagram in a message. I'll have to check to give them props later. But just like that, the government controls all sporting events, concerts, jobs, colleges, medical facilities, whether or not you can leave your house, has depleted resources such as toilet paper and food, controls travel, and you guys wonder why they develop and use viruses to scare the public. They now control you and everything about your life. See how easy it was? Mass panic, hysteria, complete control, or literally the world over a virus. One that has the survival rate of if you get it, are extremely high. All freedom has been limited overnight. see how easy that was?
Yeah, pretty much.
And you're talking about
Except for if you want to be entertained and draw TV ratings and sell ad money and all that stuff, they think that they'll have more more basically viewers held hostage at home. What are you going to do except maybe subscribe to Netflix, maybe watch the NBA game or March Madness?
yeah.
Dude, the regular flu has killed way more people even since I'm looking up all these things on stats and everything. I know that one was all over the place, but Washington Post, which is basically liberal and would do anything to fucking you know make Trump look like an idiot for what he's doing. Uh, since October, the flu has infected as many as 45 million Americans since October and killed as many as 46,000 since October. And yet that's not a pandemic compared to this.
It's just all the hype, dude. I mean, the numbers aren't there, and there's no terror. Remember, it wasn't like Ebola, like you're gonna bleed from your mouth or your ass or something like that.
Ebola, Zika was supposedly even worse.
Something, and the SARS was the cough on your lung. Like, there's nothing even with coronavirus. Like, you're gonna feel like you did 3 years ago when you had the flu, and there's no like people falling the fuck out, and like they had those couple people doing the fall down challenge in China. They were showing it, but there's not much like real proof of how it's fucking destroying people and it's unfightable, and you have a 98% chance of surviving. Of course, that's what the Hollywood doctors, Oz and fucking what's his name,
Dr. Drew.
Dr. Drew were saying. But it's all media scare. At the end of the day, these Bill Gates Foundation, look at the talks, the setup for this. Go look about Bill Gates and the TED Talk about global pandemic and being ready. This is all them, dude. This is all the fucking top people that go to Bilderberg or send people to go to Bilderberg and report back to them so they won't be seen there. Just go look into what Bill Gates has said in the last 2 years, and then look at the people he's involved with. And it's 10-1 that fucking it's going to lead you right back. All of these same group and cloud of people that are invested in this type of shit, that want global control, that want a system in place that's bigger than individual governments because they're a corporatocracy and their money is bigger than countries now. Their influence is bigger than countries.
And let's say you talk about corporatocracy, let's talk about idiocracy. That people don't even know what to do because they're not being told what to do. They're like you said, that was easy because now you told us exactly what to do. You told us to stay home. You told us not to travel. You told us to do all these things. When you weren't telling us what to do, what did we do? Australia is fighting over toilet paper. Fighting over toilet paper, which has no bearing on preventing or treating the coronavirus. You know what you could do? I'm looking at that, and I told my wife, I was like, we see it on Facebook and Instagram all the time. Buy one of those Tushy bidets. There's your problem solved. You don't need to listen to Lanny Poffo shoot on Sean Oliver. I mean, it's a joke, but at the same time, why is everybody killing each other over toilet paper when you can just basically, dude, people are just fucking idiots. Mm-hmm. And here's what the real problem is. The real problem is that we shipped everything over to China. China makes everything, which we're still getting items from China. China's manufacturing for everything. You're still able to buy your iPhones and your MacBook Pros, and also the household items could all be contaminated with this virus because supposedly there's contaminated people that are still working. Mm-hmm. The real problem, medical supplies, the masks, the sanitizer, all the stuff that the hospitals and doctors have come from China and India. So
all the shit, everything your Amazon,
I think this isn't a conspiracy theory.
Everything your Amazon shit is packaged with, and those little air bubble fucking, things are filled with air from China, contaminated air.
And you pop them every time. So the real problem is that we are getting exposed for our reactive culture, not proactive, meaning that the supply chains, what they really want to do is keep people from going to the hospital and the doctor all the time, because then it's going to be you're going to see just how unprepared we are for anything.
But like, look at the reaction to this. I mean, GGP, we got the message last night, and then Billy Ray says he's home. They canceled school because of it. But like, just the fact of like how they can shut it down when there was nothing. That show GGP and I were on is April 18th, dude. That's fucking 36 days away. And like, they're canceling SUNY for the rest of the year, sending everybody home. Now I'm going to have opportunity as an instructional designer to clean the fuck up because they're all going to need their courses transferred over and contingency plan. And that's another bigger part of it, where they obviously want to drive people out of, think of the bigger part of this as like, you know, the mouse in the fucking looking for the cheese through the maze. They don't want people in bigger groups together in a collective thought. They want to disseminate thought at home where we're all separated, even more connected, only digitally. And it's some proving ground that way to qualify people into even smaller groups. You know what I mean? And there's a marketing reason for it, there's a power reason for it, and there's a psychology for it that's been tested probably since Nazi era of how do we control mass groups, how do we control individual groups, and whatever their power play is, let's disseminate and make them that way. That's what these gigantic think tanks that Bill Gates and all these motherfuckers are really investing in. And it's how to control billions of people to the nth degree. And this is fucking nothing more than the fucking boogeyman that they're using for it. This is their bin Laden.
Some good can come out of the idea, even though I fully believe their intentions is nothing more than control. And we also we looked at the thing about cashless society, potential market of beast type stuff, that they're going to stop cash exchange because that is how you pass the coronavirus as well, pass germs.
Yeah.
You want to talk about like you just said, it was that easy. We could switch over to this cashless society. Dude. Everything's on a card, maybe extending, because then these are people will be like, this is a fucking wrestling podcast. We could do it. Well, you know, wrestling is a small part of it. And that's kind of why Jargo and other people and myself don't want to do the shows, because all this other stuff we're paying attention to is the real stuff. And it does come down to how does WrestleMania go off? How did these wrestling shows go off that are supposedly still going to happen? And you now have international talent as well. There's people that are traveling or maybe have come back from visiting family overseas. Not everybody's from America who's in WWE. Think about that. So
when you said NXT UK on Russo brand, he just popped for that. Like, it's a fucking, what happened to him? NXT and NXT UK. Like, it was like he sent him to Siberia. Like, that was fucking.
Well, NXT Latin America's coming up too.
Yeah,
so.
They got South Africa tryouts coming up too.
Oh God! You want to talk about passing on some sort of NXT is a pandemic? It seems.
Apartheid on a pole match. Yeah.
What I'm saying about the whole deal with this stuff, we're ahead of the curve because we essentially telecommute all the time. We make our money digitally and virtually online and all these other things. A lot of good can come from that because we can get out of this Christian work ethic slavery model of being in your cubicle for 60 hours or 80 hours a week.
Dude, even yesterday, like online, like, you know me, I got to drive the screws. I've been talking about this a bunch, and I still want to talk to my Second City people, and I've talked to plenty. But, like, they were putting something out there like, hey, we have new shows every night, like trying to get people into the theater, you know what I mean? Well, they know this is going on, and, like, their numbers are already barely there to meet their nut night after night based off of the Second City. The shows are great, but, you know, it's for fucking people who are coming to see Cubs and that kind of shit. It's not for, like, real diehard comedy fans. I just put underneath there and even tagged them, and I go, they should never, ever do a 3-camera shoot of this and stream it on Twitch for $4.99 every night. They should never do that. Just in hopes that, like, it's like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? You got people you're trying to get ready for Saturday Night Live and TV. Here's your opportunity to go fucking digital, and then for them to stop working for a live crowd, which is different. You know that, obviously. And working for TV, which they're not ready for, which they could be doing on their own theater and writing and working for camera, and all you need is one fucking producer to do the Kevin Dunn fucking camera switch for comedy.
You switch our studio with a whole bunch of iPhones.
That's what I'm fucking saying, dude. Don't give it all away. That's my fucking plan, is to go back and charge him $45,000 to fucking set it up. So that's our next I see where there's opportunity, and people are just like, it would be so little effort then be like, ooh, why didn't we do the famous last words? Why didn't we do this sooner? Okay. You know.
So are we going to have a show in an empty stadium at the end of the month?
Trump issues 30-day travel ban from 67 different countries that would normally be involved. There were 67 different countries that were in attendance for WrestleMania 34 for European fans. So if that's a travel ban, dude, I mean, how many? That's probably a third of their audience, those Europeans coming over. If they do have it, there's going to be mad scalp tickets on the fucking street, son. You'll be able to go to WrestleMania for probably $25 based on the amount of scalp tickets.
What kind of money? What's that do to WWE stock that's at $39? And are they going to do refunds? Are they going to do the refunds so they don't so they put it back in circulation in the States and they don't? Do you see what I mean? Because if they don't offer refunds, or if they offer some kind of like barter thing, then they scalp them for the $25 as a fuck you.
That's not on You can't get tickets from WWE for Mania, really. You got to go StubHub or fucking Ticket.
Well, I'm saying they could take the tickets back from the people that already bought the packages.
Could, yeah. For some things, I'm sure they'll take a hit, and the stock will take another punch too. But should WWE stock ever really have ever been over $60 when we went to 120? Like, insane.
I think right now, I think 39's even inflated.
Me too.
38.72 right now, because I always saw it as, and I'm no stock expert, but like we always say, like, what are you selling? Like, what's your like Apple sells iPhones, MacBooks, and services and all that stuff and everything. And it does have legitimate stockholders that can have a say. Like, it's like Steve Jobs didn't own 60% of the company and tell everybody to go fuck themselves and did whatever Steve Jobs wanted to do. This is essentially, allegedly, just a family-owned business where they all own most of the stocks and they sell stocks for other people to have a say. And anybody that asks a question that they don't like will never be on another conference call again.
Did you watch Trump last night?
Yeah.
How about the making funds available to small business owners who are going to lose because of XYZ? How do we apply and show that we're worthy of that, or is that just going to be another scam? Because otherwise, you and I have a definite reason that's valid to be able to apply for unsecured small business loan to keep our businesses afloat.
Well, the key with that was low interest, which means there's still going to be some money to be made.
Right.
I looked at that on the economic part of that it is part of the stimulus package without saying it.
Right.
That low interest loan. The thing with me was the payroll tax, which for us, we pay 15%, both ends of the 7.5%, which is not a big, we don't get it every week like my wife gets it at her job. So that being suspended is not bad. I think also what he said was that there was going to be an extension on the IRS stuff with no penalties and no fees on that, which is funny because everybody in Congress and Senate and every politician is pissed about that, which just shows you right there that they don't give a fuck.
Do you think? I'm sure
he did that to bring the heels out.
Yeah.
To show that, hey, I'm trying to be the good guy here.
Do you think people who are going to do their taxes this week are going to wait like another week or two, because you never know what the fuck is going to happen next? Like, like what are they going to announce next for some relief effort? And then people who did their taxes a month ago were like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think that's the case. I think they're always going to get their money. I think that's never going to go through. I think the filing deadline and all that stuff's going to stay. I do think, dude, I mean, we're dipping in and out of wrestling, but this, I think, also is the beginning of the universal basic income. Yeah. Because they're laying people off, which is the most insane thing, that you're sitting there not doing anything wrong. You're working your ass off, living check to check, And yes, for health concerns or whatever, and this might include WWE office employees as well, although Vince says there is no sick. And I'm convinced that there could be a major outbreak at Titan Towers, and Vince will still, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
He
Well, I
just,
mean,
he doesn't, refuses to acknowledge an illness. But getting back to that, I think the danger is, once again, the last thing to keep over people's heads. There's no more cash because of germs.
mm-hmm.
We have to lay people off. The economy comes to a halt. Then we have the quote stimulus package to help businesses out. That doesn't do anything. You know what? We're just we're gonna have to supply people with money with these debit cards, and then you guys can live and eat and all that stuff. Unless you say something bad about us, then the card doesn't work.
I got to put it out there because we got to do this. Idea how a stripper is going to make money. I mean, where they're going to need the little slide things, right? Like that's it. So now you're just going to put your debit card in your mouth and they'll swipe on you real quick. That'll be it. That's how you pay for it because we can't have cash anymore. They're going to really feel that. So we need to get on that, whether it's cleavage slides or, the real
I think
expensive.
independent wrestling is going to completely shut down too, because let's be honest, it's based on a lot of cash transactions.
Nobody buys my merch anyway. I
accept PayPal here in Square.
PayPal, yeah. Go ahead.
Right, we're getting back to WrestleMania though. Getting back to WrestleMania, like in the grand scheme of things and what we just talked about, who really gives a fuck? But this could completely cripple WWE and also turn around and new WWE Saudi Arabia headquarters, because Fox and USA might turn around and go, dude, what are you giving us?
They could pack up and move Mania to Saudi in 2 days, I think. A week. But I think it's got to be on the table. I'd have it on there. I'd say our hard out date is March 21st. So we got 9 days to fucking say, are we doing it in Florida? If not, let's go to Saudi and do it there. And it will be, as you predicted, even better than WrestleMania, Super WrestleMania.
Do you also think that they're going to push up the idea of WrestleMania to Fox? Because they'll have viewers.
Maybe.
Because everybody's quarantined. Why not have it on TV?
Why not?
And it gives them a little cachet to have the low ratings for another year, because we gave you WrestleMania, Fox. So it buys them time.
Yeah.
And you air it from Saudi Arabia. So you both your masters are being served right there. Sorry, USA.
XFL issued the following statement based on a proclamation issued Wednesday by Washington Governor Jay Inslee. The Seattle Dragons will host the LA Wildcats this Sunday as scheduled. The game will take place at 4 p.m. Pacific time in CenturyLink Field. Without fans in the venue, the game will be broadcast live, also scheduled on ESPN2. Jeffrey Pollack, XFL president and COO. So XFL, no fans. That'll be interesting to see these things. Is like this weird, get used to the apocalyptic times. Like, you know what I mean? It's all falling down. I don't know, man. Very, we talked last week where they're like, nah, WrestleMania is going ahead. And I go, yeah, we'll see. Give it 10 days. And today's the day. So, we're taping this Thursday live for Friday. So the news may or may not be out by this afternoon that WrestleMania is or is not canceled or rescheduled.
Or like we just did, if they're listening, they probably are like, oh, we can move it to Saudi Arabia. That would be great.
Right.
Because is there an international travel ban from the U.S. to other countries?
I don't think so. Just Europe coming in 30 days.
Well, no, there's more countries, though. There's more countries that they said Europe last night, but there's more countries.
Dude, the day after 9/11, the day after 9/11, they flew out 90 Saudis. I don't think it's going to be a problem to get them to get WWE staff over to fucking Saudi Arabia. If they can pull that one off, they can do this one.
Well, let me ask you this question: do you think Trump? Because wasn't too long ago where Trump was trying to get travel bans for illegal immigration and trying to do all these things to curtail the influx of illegal immigrants from all over the world. This is an easy way to do it. It's done, at least for 30 days. It buys you some time. And how long until they really enforce the Mexican border? That's where Coronas come from.
Yeah, that's the origination point. No one's even put that over. Off of coronavirus and on to wrestling. Lance Archer revealed as Jake the Snake Roberts' client on AEW Dynamite. Just 1 week ago, one professional wrestling's all-time greatest villains returned to the business as Jake the Snake Roberts appeared on AEW Dynamite, delivering a harsh tongue lashing to the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. During his chilling monologue, Roberts announced that the darkness was coming to All Elite Wrestling. Darkness, teasing that he would be bringing a new element to the show. That prophecy came true this evening on Dynamite when the Snake came to ringside during Cody's match versus Ortiz of the Inner Circle. He didn't come alone, however, as none other than former IWGP US Heavyweight Champion Lance Archer was revealed as the WWE Hall of Famer's new protege. Archer recently signed with AEW after a successful run in New Japan. The two did not end up attacking Rhodes, opting to leave before the tensions spilled over in the war between the Elite and the Inner Circle, but the message was sent. Jake Roberts and Lance Archer have their eyes locked on the Nightmare family. Yeah, dude, this was a weird seg. There was a lot of weird booking and segs, which we'll talk about on AE Dynamite probably right after Stevie and I go off the air here with Silvio and Matt Schaffer. But they teased big thing last week, Jake, and then no reveal. They're just at ringside in the crowd together, dude. I was like, what? And then other business spills over into this segment. They get forgotten about. He looks like he's gonna jump the fucking barrier, and Jake's like, no, don't do that now, and pulls him back instead of them sitting there calm, cool, and collected. And watch Cody take a beating in front of him and just laughing at it coy, like he wants to get into it. Dude, they missed the fucking mark. A week out, I've got a client. Oh, well, let's see. We'll find out in 4 weeks who it is, right? We'll build to it. Nope, this week it's Lance Archer, everybody. Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, and what mystique is this? You're talking about the darkness, and you're talking about all this stuff and everything, and there's no vignettes or no nothing. And
nothing.
He's at ringside, and he looks like a biker dude. He doesn't look like anything. And Lance deserves to have this opportunity, but you don't get a second chance to make that first impression. He reinvented himself in New Japan. And I don't know why, they didn't do the American Psycho type of vignettes with him and Jake and have them talking, and doesn't make any sense. Maybe the heat's with that neck tattoo. Maybe that's what all this is about. Oh, some fan got that. Yeah. See that? You sent it, though. I'm sorry, you sent it to me.
So he's talking about some fan, I think on Mike Durbin's Twitter is where it came from. But some fan got the identical great neck tattoo as Cody. How do you feel about that?
Well, it's not permanent, I guess. I mean, it's not like he has to live with that for the rest of his life.
Some dude in Syracuse yesterday who was I think a 2CW fan. I saw in his shit in my timeline he got Hulkamania down his inside of his forearm in the Hulkamania letters. Mm-hmm. Dude, what are people thinking?
Oh, people name their cats after me. I think that's okay. You can do that.
Yeah, that's fine. You can always change a cat's name if you need to.
No, you don't do that.
Oh. Matt Hardy's first post-WWE match announced for later this month. Northeast Wrestling, NEW, has announced Matt Hardy will be in the action of WrestleFest 24 in what will be his first match since allowing his WWE contract to expire. The show takes place Friday, March 27th in Waterbury, Connecticut. Maybe. Also signed for the event is Keith Youngblood versus Brian Pillman Jr. versus Darby Allin versus Sammy Guevara.
What?
Say what?
We go back to our theme about contracted wrestlers for AEW. These two guys are featured.
In Immortal, he just made the announcement for that show that got canceled. The Dark Order was going to be on there. So I think we might be right again.
That they're not necessarily doing their equal pay, or everybody's going to get taken care of, one big happy family, all that stuff.
Do you see Moxley working indie dates? No.
But I take that back. He went to Japan.
That's true.
I'm saying that probably was part of his deal, and I don't think that's a good idea either when you're on TV every week. But him, Jericho, Kenny Omega doing Mexico. I mean, this is the other end of it. When you are making a full-time salary off of AEW, or you're one of the executive vice presidents, and you're going and winning titles on another indie that you have a commitment to go back and work multiple times. Dude, their styles too, man.
That's what I was gonna say. How do you work their style, Darby style or Guevara? Every time they work, it's a risk of being out for 3 to 6 months on some dumb shit that could go wrong, like that. Anything can go wrong, but their shit is even multiple times more dangerous. So you're taking a way bigger risk, and not that NEW is not a great promotion, but like you're on TV, dude. So what is really going on that would make them take that risk? That means they're not getting paid by AEW, and things don't look like they seem to be.
And the guys with guaranteed deals, what if they get hurt? The real test, because it's going to eventually happen. If Moxley or somebody gets hurt or he gets a staph infection again and he's out for a few weeks or months, will Tony Khan pay him? Because those are higher priced talents.
Well, then he'll be painted into a corner, and that's when the fluff and the money mark promoter will go from like, yeah, buddy, that's a great idea, to ugly, to like, you better give me my fucking money, dude, or else I'm.
That's when he's getting the crane outside of Rehad or whatever, getting ready to decapitate and rehang.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good shirt.
I like that. Hang and decapitate and rehang.
I'd love to see someone. Do you think anyone's going to ever ask Tony Khan in the press conference an actual question, like a real question about like we're doing right now?
No, not as long as they're doing fake setups with Nick Hausman. None of that shit will even be legit. Even the people they're allowing in their press corps is a fucking rib 90% of the time, of like no one who's been in the business to ask a real question. They're not ready to talk real business. All that shit is a knockoff of New Japan's post fucking press conference. It's not like it's original, and now they're doing it instead of Japanese guys who can get away with being mark reporters asking an American or Canadian wrestler something and getting an answer, and you hear the cameras going off. They're trying to recreate that with wrestle marks that they have planted in the crowd so they can get a phony reaction for some viral shit that makes everybody look like a 30-year-old playing wrestling, dude. Like, and like, instead of being legitimate, athletes and people who look up and would respect them, it feels like they're ribbing the boys in their own fucking locker room. It sucks.
Even the camera angle is not flattering from what I've saw in two or three of them. It's like the opposite of the Diablo. It's underneath three-quarter kind of thing. It's not very flattering at all.
Yep. And they just keep touching the bruise. Anthem Sports and Entertainment partners with iHeartMedia. Anthem, a globally integrated multi-platform media company, and iHeartMedia, America's leading audio company, which the Infinite Fringe can be heard on, and also America Unplugged, announced today that they will have entered into a multi-year agreement to establish a strategic partnership under which parties will collaborate in co-production of original programming on the marketing of Anthem's properties across the iHeartMedia multi-platform audio network. The partnership comes at a time of expansion of Anthem, which acquired a majority interest in Access TV in 2019, becoming partners with the remaining shareholders Mark Cuban and Anschutz Entertainment Group, while bringing Steve Harvey Global into the company as investor and advisor on content development. Anthem also recently announced that it become an investor in a strategic planner in Players TV, the sports lifestyle digital network being launched by Players Media Group. There's a lot more copy. But Anthem is going to start developing content for them. I got to say, man, like, this is where I feel Hamin Media might need to start to transition. I got to talk to Billy Ray on some contacts, but MSG brought it up yesterday, dude. We got the Impact Attack already. It's got a long track record all the way back to WrestleZone without being stopped, really. And that's 5 years now? And through all the regimes, I don't think there's anybody better than myself, MSG, Joe Jan, and Big Ray to possibly be doing an Impact show that would be able to look over it all, bring in you, Russo, all this as guests, and be able to do something outside the realm of like whatever Corey Graves is doing for WWE that they want.
What is that?
Yeah, does Impact want to like do that? Like, I don't think so, man. They have a chance to do something real for a big audience here, and sure, some guys can have their own specialized podcast, but I'd like to see us be the independent conduit because no one's put in more time than Hamin Media Group has on covering Impact.
No, it's true. The presentation, I love the little studio they have him in, but that's more of what like I see Billy Ray Valentine. It's like a coast to coast AM type presentation of low key this and that, but it's just not a good fit. And I'm sure they're just giving him something to give him something because he was a legitimate radio personality in Pittsburgh. I remember talking to him before he became Corey Graves, and he was thinking about going in the radio rather than pursuing wrestling any further, which I really think he ended up doing it anyway. But there's something about that. Like we always talk about content creation and outlets and stuff. It's really something that it's just a shame the right eyes and ears from iHeartMedia and other places aren't listening or seeing what most of these shows we have are doing.
Yeah.
So all you got to do is produce it, clean it, take some of the work off of you, the production work and other stuff from other people, and just let personalities be personalities. Because you're in the back of your mind, you're thinking about editing, uploading, schedule, this and that. So even at your 80 or 90%, you're still way better than most people out there doing their thing, way more prepared.
Yeah.
But
that's what hurts losing a Jargo. Or, not that I ever want to lose a Billy Ray Valentine or a Matt or even a Ray, and you as well. The guys who are key holders to upload, that trust of hitting a schedule is the biggest thing of running a team that are dedicated, giving you their all, not asking for much in return, but know the value of what they're creating and helping their own shine and getting the most out of it. Look, Billy Ray Valentine went from PW Hustle talking wrestling with his buddies and some conspiracy over Skype to what he's built into now in 3 years. That's pretty incredible. You know what I mean? That's a vision and follow through and using free media and building an audience and using your contacts and listening and being humble and doing what it is. And now he's off to the races. So I don't know. The big stat with coronavirus that no one's talking about is that podcasts are up 20%. I mean, there's going to be all new podcasters, people sitting home. And we'll see if they stick to any schedule. But are you going to go to Johannesburg for the first ever WWE tryout?
Do you think I have what it takes?
I mean, I'm looking forward to the quarter-mile shark swim off the coast. You got to swim out where the great whites are, touch the buoy, and swim back. And we'll see who makes it. It'll be good.
What about playing the game of government versus rebels?
I like that.
Or Blood Diamond would be another one. Reenacting the Blood Diamond vignettes is going to be awesome.
It'll be good. Triple H says South Africa is renowned for producing tough, uncompromised athletes, proven by the hugely dominant performance of the Springbrooks rugby team last year to become the world champions, said Paul Triple H Levesque, WWE Vice President, Global Talent and Strategy Development. That was also another thing he's been promoted to that. I want to bring those same dynamic, powerful, and entertaining qualities from South Africa's best male and female athletes to WWE. My message to every athlete performer in South Africa is simple. This is your chance to change your life. Take this opportunity to follow your dreams and represent South Africa on a global stage as a WWE superstar.
We don't get a lethal weapon to heal. I'm going to be. I need the diplomatic immunity guy, and I need Gary Busey.
What was the one kid from South Africa they had? Like what, 6-7 years ago?
That was Gabriel.
Gabriel.
Which is one of the most talented. Justin Gabriel. PJ Black or PJ. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. You want to talk about like that would have. I don't know why they never did anything with that kid outside of the Nexus thing, which just was like throwing guys together anyway.
So all you guys, in South Africa who are pumped up for this tryout, just think you could have a fucking dream career like Justin Gabriel had, and you could be the second one from South Africa.
What's his say? Adam Rose is from South Africa
Oh
too.
well, that it worked out good for him too. And I mean, this is a precedent of fucking awesome, successful guys who are talented and can probably do anything in the ring, being used properly and getting to live out their dreams and being super happy about it.
Yeah, and mentally they've really coached them very well to have very stable mental conditions as well.
Yeah.
They didn't fuck them over or mind fuck them at all. Do you think those, now if I was going to do NXT South Africa, I would reach out to those two guys, and maybe there's been people talking about Adam Rose going back. Do you think this could be an Adam Rose kind of thing? Because he's probably the biggest name to come out of there.
Maybe. If you were to back him with 3 rugby players and have him do a rugby gimmick, like to get that over, I could see that working because they could line up right against our next story. 3-time Super Bowl champ Rob Gronkowski in deep talks. Yeah, deep talks, pal. With WWE. As first reported by that shit stain Ryan Satin on Tuesday night's edition of WWE Backstage, former NFL tight end Rob Gronkowski is in deep talks to sign with WWE, while the capacity in which he'd be used is unclear at this time. Satin noted, I'm told Gronk could be making an appearance in WWE as early as March 20th on Friday Night Smackdown in New Orleans. Maybe. Gronkowski played 9. Gronkowski's going to make his debut at the Performance Center, everybody. Yeah. Gronkowski played 9 seasons in the NFL with the Patriots, winning 3 Super Bowls, making the Pro Bowl on 5 separate occasions. Many consider him to be among the greatest tight ends in the history of professional football. He's also somewhat unbelievably still only 30 years old. That is pretty fucking unbelievable, bro. That's pretty unbelievable. He could have a serious run. I thought he's like 37, 38 and he's going to do whatever, but if this shit was the real deal, he could have a fucking solid 5-year run.
He could. I just hope I don't know, man. I'm stuck on deep talks. Like, what is there to talk about?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm just thinking in my mind, Adam Rose with the rugby guys, Mojo, Moss, and Gronk, and somebody else. You know what I mean? They bring in. Just thinking big idea stuff outside of the box. You know what I mean?
Well, they would have done good to build a foundation with Mojo as a football guy and then had Riddick Moss as a football guy, which they touched on in 3 pieces of commentary, and that was about it, being the offensive lineman.
They could bring in that security lady to be the 3rd person in their team.
That's who you should knock out first. You should knock her out at WrestleMania and spear her. That was great. I just don't see a translation. Maybe it's just something like outside of the novelty of seeing Gronk, who I think his personality, while the goofiness in the NFL was really endearing, like he's a big, dumb, meathead jock. That was his gimmick. He was extremely smart with football, and I don't think that's ever been brought out. But in wrestling, like Cornette says, funny doesn't equal money. Would it come across as goofy and funny, his natural personality?
I don't agree with what Cornette says.
No, I'm not saying the Cornette's right. I'm saying that generally comedy acts or what's considered to be funny at WWE always gets marginalized.
Okay, yeah.
It does equal money, but
I'll say it does.
Because even equal money.
Even in DCW,
is Gronkowski going to draw the kind of money as a comedy act that he deserves to draw?
No. That's the draw in the NFL audience, and, maybe they'll get McAfee in on it too. I mean, you got all these guys that got to time together in some way. So it'll be interesting to see that way. And as early as March 20th, and we saw the Patriots offensive coordinator there. Yeah, he was backstage with a football. That's how they knew it was him. So maybe he was the guy doing the deal. Who knows?
I just think people that are professional athletes for that long are so set in their ways. Like if McAfee was in the ring doing something, I see him doing the goofy, like, you know what I mean? That's his way. Do you know what I mean? I can see Gronkowski. You can't teach the kind of charisma in wrestling, which is very unique outside of the charisma in football. Charisma in podcasting is one thing, but in wrestling, to embrace the reality almost like you can see through that they're just playing wrestling.
Well, you gotta let somebody heal on him for real about the cheating. Like right away, you gotta go at him where you're gonna get a real reaction out of him. So it goes from superstar and yeah, guys to like, what the fuck did you just say to me, dude?
But how does a professional athlete in the real world still hold back and not shoot on somebody in a physical sense? That's where we're kind of fucked up in the head, but we have those boundaries of knowing that you're going to get my real reaction, but when it comes to physicality, I'm still going to work.
Yeah.
The switch in football players is I'm trying to fucking kill you. From 0 to 100. That's a real problem. I mean, Ron Simmons did it, Rocky did it, but they were never in the NFL for 9-10 full years in that mindset. They got trained, and they always wanted to be wrestlers, from what I understood.
Yeah, I mean, operant conditioning of a human being and animal. Think how many years this is what he's heard. Ready, go. Like, down, ready, set, ready, go. Like,
not 50% or laid in safe places or do this and that.
Ready, go is fucking whoa, See you,
That's
dude.
my biggest concern. So if Gronk is doing 50% to protect somebody, it can look like shit, and the in-between stuff doesn't look legitimate or credible. Yeah. The emotion of it.
We'll see, man.
I have a deal with Gronk Fitness doing some stuff here and there. I offered it a long time ago, but they're gonna probably put him down at the Performance Center and have him do the cookie cutter training, entrance, hit your pose, do this, paint by numbers. He will not learn the right way to work, in my opinion.
You think he wins the 24/7 title on next week on his debut?
I think he does, and then if he has any kind of wrestling or they're going to do it the right way, he defends it at WrestleMania to get a spike
against that security guard lady.
Oh, she's deadly. now on the money side, I think Jacob Allman and Fox. I love when we just lump him in and say his name every time. By the way, we always say, but I think Fox
been doxed hard.
Because he's an analyst for the football shows. I think Fox is footing some of this bill. Yeah, this might be an addendum to his Fox contract. Then what if he sees the Saudi money, and Saudi will pay him $10 million to wrestle one match
just to come out with football pads on, just to come out with football pads in Saudi? Like, we like football too. Like, that's the message they'll want to send, bro. Absolutely.
Fly over on a private jet, go over, be one of the top 10 or 20, come back.
You think you'll have
$10 million in your hand? Like, off that dude, he didn't make that in a year under Belichick.
Do you think you'll have Belichick in his corner at something like Mania next year?
Belichick would never fucking soil his fucking reputation. And I said Bill Belichick would have a soiled reputation with the Flakegate, with Spygate, with fuck off
wrestling's
Tom Brady.
Wrestling's the fucking cutoff point.
No, I still think there's some kind of stupid stink where it'll be a goofy thing if you involve. I think Tom Brady would stay away from it. Tom Brady's not going to show up and be in the crowd at WrestleMania.
What if
nobody's going to show up and be in the crowd at WrestleMania?
You're telling me? Wait, hold on.
Stop.
You're telling me what's his wife's name, Giselle, and they're not going to do the fucking Tom Brady and Giselle.
Yeah,
slept with Gronk, and then they're gonna have a match after he fucks his wife and whatnot, or no?
Sure, why not? I mean, TB12 versus the Strong 5x5 program or whatever. Yeah, because I know for a fact that just what you're looking at is Tom Brady saying his wife might not want to live in Nashville, which is pretty upscale, not upscale enough for them, but
right.
Fuck Nashville and fuck the music industry and all the actors from the Hallmark Channel and everybody else living in Nash Vegas. I want to sit next to the fucking Green Lantern t-shirt guy in the front row in Tampa during a coronavirus outbreak.
Can't wait.
That's Giselle's fucking wet dream.
Speaking of wet dreams, Nia Jax, medical update. Nia Jax, my back, my pussy, and my crack. Backstage news on plans for her WWE return. She's been cleared by doctors to return to the ring following almost a full year of inactivity, according to a report from the insider. She says she's expected back anytime now. And words going around backstage is that the former Raw Women's Champion will be at this week's SmackDown taping. Jax debuted on NXT television in October 2015. During her relatively brief time there, she challenged both Bayley and Asuka during their title reigns. Since debuting on the main roster, Jax has been a marquee figure in the WWE Women's Division, especially at the Big Four pay-per-views. She was competed in championship matches. Last 3 Manias, all right, whatever. She's been in WWE. Good for her. And then this week sending Russo sexy pics, putting out her big and beautiful boudoir pics, tagging Vince about how she looks. I'm ready to come back. Are you ready to smash or whatever? Who would hit this or whatever she was putting out there, to the world. What are we supposed to expect when we're getting lingerie, respect me, big and beautiful, and for National Women's Day shit when she should be off camera, coming back as a surprise, as a killer, so everyone can say, wow, she lost weight. Instead, now let me spoil this the week before with some big panty pics and fucking, here we are. Maybe she will and maybe she won't be out there. And then she cut another little tweet saying, I'm going to start another 4-women group called the Horsemen that doesn't need talent so we can get on TV too, or some bullshit like that. So passive aggressive tweets, her spots taken because Vince found a new plaything in Vampire Shayna Baszler. We'll see here, man, what's going on. I know catering's got to be working double time.
You're right though. Why spoil? Like why spoil it by putting up these pictures? Why do anything on social media to kill anything that you wanted to do? And also, like you said, you're not showing Vince, tagging Vince on that. Like Vince, let me look at the Instagram and see what Nia's up to. See if I've been tagged today. 1 million people are not tagging Vince on Twitter. Whoever's got to check his Twitter's got to be like, what the fuck? That could have been your job.
Yeah.
What is she gonna do, man? Who cares? This is why I hate doing. I love doing a show with you, but especially what's going on now and all the stuff we're talking about, it's just like, man, it's so I feel more and more like Russo every week with this stupid wrestling. It's just stupid.
Yeah.
All this stuff and everything when you could be creating storylines and everything based on some real fucking stakes going on in the world. Then when we're talking about this, we can kill 2 birds with 1 stone instead of saying like, oh, by the way, this might have been a bioweapon that was transferred. The stocks are falling. Yeah. People might go broke. People might starve. Now we're heading into fucking Big Brother 1984. Oh, here's a picture. I'm ready to fake wrestle, Vince McMahon. I just don't. I'm sorry, man. I'm not being negative. But
no, it's insulting the intelligence where we have to get not hopeful because they've drummed that out of us, but
that's why it sounds like a parody one. That's why we joke about every one of these fucking headlines.
Yeah,
because it deserves to be joked about.
Here's no joke right here. It's Bret Hart's honest thoughts on Hulk Hogan. Maybe
should just send me the audio clip. I can play.
Covered. Do I like Hulk Hogan? No, I don't. I think he's a phony piece of shit. I'm waiting for the next question.
That's it. He thinks Hulk Hogan's a phony piece of shit on his AMA. On whatever he was on Periscope there. So, dude, even then, I had to say to myself, I go, maybe that's a shoot, but is Bret bucking for Team Hogan, brother, versus Team Hitman? 5-on-5 for Saudi Arabia. Bret in one corner, Hogan in the other, getting his payday.
It's quite possible, but yeah. I think Bret gives his real feelings about a lot of things too. I would actually want Bret versus Hunter because there's been more said against Hunter than Hogan. Now you have no chance of going over against Hunter, but
how does Road Dogg hang in there with Hunter and fucking Sean all three, like both of them, born again, full on, forgive me for my sins of all my indiscretions, so I can get out of jail free card, and I'll post some shit on Twitter, whatever, when it suits me. But like after those shoot promos that him and Billy cut, and then like to be in the same rooms with him, dude. Like I think that's worse than Vince. Like if me and Vince had to fucking work together, I think that shit's way worse.
Well, you never said you're going to punch Vince in his big, stupid, fat nose, and you hated that motherfucker. And I mean, they're still up there. It's amazing. It's amazing that you can't get more than an initial interview with the company. And these guys are, even Billy Gunn had gone back, and he was a coach, right?
Yeah.
He was an agent for a while.
He was NXT too, or Tough Enough with the last one. He was a coach.
Plenty of opportunities. So it's very, very odd. Maybe they were just that tight at one time that they worked through it. But is he still answering tweets, by the way, Road Dogg?
I don't know. I haven't really looked.
I'm not on Twitter, but you know how he would answer about the show?
Yeah. Oh, like he would sell? No, I don't. Because he's not there anymore. He's not on Smackdown anymore. You don't care. He's just in Florida doing NXT.
And Smackdown now. He's a new writer for Smackdown in Florida every week. Every week at the Performance
Center Smackdown. In our final story of the day, Steve Areno, Lana and her brilliant performing skills are set to star in an upcoming sci-fi film starring Bruce Willis. WWE superstar Lana has recently announced she's working on a brand new sci-fi movie. She's appearing alongside Bruce Willis. According to Deadline, Lana will be appearing in the movie Comic Sins, which is being directed by Corey Large and Edward Drake, but no official date's been released at this stage. Lana's playing the role of Soul, who was reportedly written for a male at first, but the character is best described as the best sniper in the galaxy and an elite assassin fighting for the human race against an alien invasion. Lana didn't appear on Raw this week, and the commentary team claimed that the reason is that she's off filming right now. So our first and last line of defense against the Anunnaki, Lana. Happy Lana Day, Stevie.
How far Bruce Willis has fallen. Hey, you gotta watch on YouTube Kevin Smith talking about working with Bruce Willis. She might not be in for a good time.
Right. And if anything, I think Bruce Willis, I'm thinking she's gonna be the Russian coy character, right? In some spy shit, not I'm fucking alien sniper. And really, Rusev would be the one that would be a good heel for Bruce Willis as an old guy to go in and still kick the shit out of and be viable. You know what I mean? But now we're getting alien sniper.
Well, didn't they just come out with a movie not too long ago, a comedy with her and Rusev as they were doing the angle with Lashley, like a comedy movie? I saw something on Facebook.
It's all funny to me, man. I just think about, Ipasi de Russo, the brilliant performance that she was giving during those wedding things where she was just looking at the camera and like her character better be mute in this movie, dude, because I can't imagine her delivering lines that are going to be believable unless this is like, I don't know, not even a Spaceballs type movie. I don't think she has the comedic timing to deliver. So
I think the amazing part too is that this was a major angle that took months, that they were obviously being punished and ribbed and all that stuff. And then after that, she's just allowed to go film a movie. This is not the WWE that you heard Bruce and I talk about it. Mm-hmm. Like during my 9.5, 10 years there, I think once or twice these little parts came up for me. Like this was like right to censor era. And then there was one little one after that and they shut it down, because their thing was the character doesn't align up with what we're doing with you on TV. And also they just didn't want to give me the opportunity because in their mind, I wasn't a real star. That was what they told the agent I had at the time. So one of them was Special Victims Unit. I was going to play like a fucking some kind of murderer or whatever. And they said, no, you're not going to do that. Mm. And the next one was just some USA show. And they shut that down for whatever reason. This time, like,
if you would have got on Special Victims Unit, you might still be on TV. That motherfucker just got renewed for another 3 years.
Dude, I would they made fun of that. Like Chris Meloni or whatever went off to do Man of Steel. he should have stayed with that show because you have checks coming in for the rest of your life.
Forever.
That Natasha woman that's the detective too, she's still on there.
Ice-T's on it too, man. He's been clocking a check for almost a decade now.
And if he stopped it tomorrow, he still gets the royalties off of that, off syndication.
Wow.
So I don't know why they're letting them do whatever they want. It is so much like an indie now. You can have a YouTube channel. You can totally just kill your character on TV. You
Go
can
do
stand
up on the weekend on the weeknights.
Yeah, I mean, but he earned that deal in a way after so long of.
But they never would have allowed that before, is what I'm saying. Never
would have allowed that before. They would have said you should be working out and doing all this stuff and going to Performance Center or doing whatever. You have to live, eat, and breathe 24/7 WWE. I mean, I thought you and I could work in this fucking WWE and thrive.
Yeah.
Without any problem. Because we don't give you got heat. I don't give a fuck. Before you got heat, it's like I'm in for a six months of hell from the boys and the office at the same time. They're gonna try to drive me out of the company.
That kind of shit, when I see people getting hot about it, I just laugh. I'm like, look at you getting hot. Like, whatever. Like, you're getting yourself that fucking way. I know who the fuck I am. You know, I've been having heat. Like, what are you gonna change the last fucking 14 years of my life? Like,
I didn't have that attitude before because I always wanted to please people. That was my problem before. Now it's not so much even. It's so apathetic. I got so little energy throughout the day to care about that. And that's what your way is. That's what really makes them mad. And in the end, that's what makes them respect you. And also that's what gets you money. Like, oh, he doesn't need Scott Steiner. I think one time walked in, I don't need your fucking money. Well, here's more.
Yeah.
Like, it works.
Yeah, when you need it the least, that's when they give it to you the most. Whether you're an asshole movie star getting free cars and watches and all that shit or whatever. Hopefully we can get to that point. I mean, I know a guy who's getting saunas and shit sent to him, so if I can get to sauna level, that's what I'm hoping for, man.
Yeah, I haven't had anything sent in at least 10 days. A little dry moment. Maybe that coronavirus is rubbing off.
It could be. I actually got to check in with Russo, see if he got his coffee from thebroasters.com because he ordered extra. His dad got his in Florida. He was hot that 3 days later he still hadn't got his. So I'm not sure if they got the end of a batch and had to roast more or what have you. We got to keep the boss happy. I sent him 2 bags of his own, so I'm hoping that gets there pretty soon so he can be caffeinated. Do you think that
woman moved into his 55 plus
That's what I said.
And stole it again?
You cannot trust these goddamn old Japanese women when it comes to coffee in the mail. They can sniff it out like a bloodhound, you know. If you don't know, Bon Russo brand, I sent him, and Triple D sent him 2 bags of Dippin' Donuts coffee, and it had given us the wrong address or mailbox, but the lady lived 30 yards away. And it had other shit in there for Vince, too. And it was all said Vince Russo on it. The old bitch kept the coffee. Vince saw her out in the garage. He went up and promoted her and asked. He's like, hey, did you get a package from me about coffee? She's like, oh, yeah. And the coffee was open. He'd been trying it and shit. So he got his dipping, but then now he's moved into the new community. And I'll sell you his address if you want to for the low price of $4,000. And, you know. That now we're sending him coffee, but he's having trouble getting it. So who knows if there's some secret Yakuza conspiracy against Vince Russo and his coffee. These Japanese women are teaming up against him, and, you know, maybe it's because he turned down a New Japan deal. Who knows, man?
Can't catch a break.
Hopefully we do this week and our bookings don't get canceled so we can keep the cash rolling in because obviously it's tax season, renew season for Podbean, and renew season for Hamin Media. I was going to ask you about something business-wise where you have to have the legal address for your LLC. With LegalZoom, they do it automatically, and they take out like $400 a year. But I know you can do it and get like these legal addresses or declare your own, and it's only like maybe $50. I don't know. I got to look into it, man. That's
usually the corporation, the corporate tax or the corporate fee it used to be around $250. I have my accountant do that stuff, and it's just all like, you know, I remember, I just give you an example, like before my wife started her business, you know, we were doing, she's like, why do you pay David so much money? Like, I don't pay him a lot, but it's, you know, on retainer, you're paying him every quarter or doing whatever. And then this year, I'm like, are you going to do your own taxes? He's like, no, just call David. I go, what about all that money? It's like, I have no idea. So like that corporate thing, even though it might be 400 sounds a little high. I think LegalZoom's more of a concierge, does everything for you.
It's $299 LegalZoom, plus I got a New York State gimmick I gotta do too. So it's fuck. But I know you can get out of that $299 by doing it a different way and having the legal thing set up. But if it's all in house in LegalZoom, that's is what it is. At the end of the day, go to fucking prowrestlingtees.com/BenHamin. Cheer your bits. I appreciate it in the spring because that's when it's time to do new business. And pretty much most of the money from this quarter goes out to set up for the other 3 quarters, which is just the cost of doing business. But it's always like, a shot in the balls when you know it's coming at you, man. Like rough stuff. But the wives are already planning fucking Jamaica trips for the next round here, so I got to get back to them. And I'll be doing Hamin this weekend in the 245, my hometown, see Murder. And it'll be a good time, man, seeing a lot of old faces and having some fun. Last time I performed there was opening for Ryan Nymiller, who took 3rd on America's Got Talent. So it should be we'll see who else I can make famous and get on TV except for myself. I can get everybody else on TV but myself. That's the new shirt, Stevie. So
stop.
But I think the big thing here, and not to fearmonger, fear porn, and add on, but really, you want to talk about there's no better time to do StevieRichardsFitness.com and get out all this coronavirus bullshit than now, where you're not going to the gym, where people are sweating and fucking not wiping down the equipment at Planet Shit List, and who knows, they're touching their eyes, their balls, their old snatch, and fucking they just came from Walmart, and who else they rubbed up against. Fuck all that. Get all the resistance bands out. Get it going. Dude, I did the shoulder mobility last week, felt a ton better than I did Spartan 300 set, which I just picked 10 cards and, I rip them off 30 reps. And then my legs were rocked for 2 days after that doing red, yellow bands, man. I was crushed.
Very cool. Yeah, I see the fear mongering in the fitness industry with the home stuff and everything, but there's a real benefit to that. There's a real benefit to that. And if you're an introvert, I'm an introvert too. We have an episode up on the YouTube channel talking all about that, my wife and myself. So it's really designed for, people that want to avoid all this stuff, the cost of it. And if it's something that you're like, well, I don't want to do bands, I'd rather just get a power rack or get some other stuff for my thing. That's why we got the Stevie 5 code at forceusa.com. and diamondbackfitness.com. If you want to see the full reviews, talking about 15, 20, 25-minute reviews, full reviews of, like, say, the folding my rack, of the elliptical coming up on Sunday, the spin bike we have, the Monster G6. After almost 2 years, I provide updates on all these home gym products. So go to the YouTube channel, subscribe, use that code Stevie5 at forceusa.com or diamondbackfitness.com. I also thought about providing a service to help people design their home gyms.
That's interesting. I like that.
It's pretty cool. And I can do it pretty well. And I have the software to kind of build that out on a 3D kind of home planning type scale.
I know you've been helping Justin French with his, and I know he's pumped to have all that equipment and put it to use. And, Stevie's doing that. He's doing all types of workouts. Definitely check him out on YouTube. Stevie Richards Fitness, surpassing 51,000 followers, and great stuff there for reviews, you guys.
Actually, almost up to 53 now.
53, wow. Jeez. I got to get on my YouTube game. I'm just almost at about 11,000. I think I'm just under that. So Ben Hamin on YouTube, you want to subscribe. Promos, matches, videos of all of our hackerhamin.podbean.com content that I usually do here on Twitch. So not every show, but usually you'll get Friday Locker Room, Horseman, Impact Attack, and AEW on my YouTube as well if you want to see all the co-hosts here and see the big takes and sells that you don't get just on the podcast at hackerhamin.podbean.com. But yeah, you guys, these gyms right now are a petri dish for this shit. And if it's spreading, I'm not here to say be scared of it, but dude, if you're quarantined from work, whatever goddamn reason, you don't want to go out and do it, StevieRichardsFitness.com is the best way with the bands at the best price, a ridiculous price compared to everything else that's out there that's going to give you, real results. That's just it, man. He lives it. He looks it. I'm down 55 pounds. The self-help group's posting every day, and people are there to support you. So that's what we're here as the support group grows. Tomorrow night, Smackdown Live. I'll be back here at twitch.tv/Conspiracy Horseman if you want to watch along live. I'll be doing that. I'll be back here probably in the next 10 minutes with Chris Silvio and MSG talking AEW Dynamite. I want to say thanks again to Jargo for all the time he's put in here at Hamin Media Group, Open Door Policy. Please drop him a thank you at Not Jargo for all the entertainment and content that he's provided to you guys for the last couple of years. We are eternally grateful, my man. And I am for you as well, Steve Areno. It's anything else before we sign off, brother?
That's it, man. I think, like I said, we'll turn the negative into a positive. We'll create content. We'll figure out a way to even build our business. We got the foundation to build everything. And if anyone has any questions about how to do that in this upcoming uncertain times or current uncertain times, ask us. It's an open book. We've even thought about making guides to podcasting and put them up as ebooks and stuff like that. Maybe there's an opportunity to learn new things and create new things to help people.
I agree completely. Right now, I'm going to try and cash in on this instructional design shit. And
I want to talk to you more about that, actually.
Yeah, work these universities for that big, big money. Because we're hustlers, baby. Here on your Friday locker room, it's the veteran, Big Stevie Cool, Hacker Hamin. Don't worry about it, infidels. You're not going to die from the coronavirus, or else maybe you will. Yallah.